I was studying for a certification exam, and my hand and finger started going numb. The numbness kept moving to my shoulder and my elbow into my shoulder. That's when I got with Meredith. It's like, we need to go do something. And that's where she knew to go to UMC immediately.
I was asking him a lot of questions to keep him with, because I thought he was going to pass out. And he said that, I remember I was in the turn lane and I'm looking at UMC, and he said, I'm about to not be able to speak to you anymore. And I knew my heart sunk at that point, because I was like, this is not something mild. This is something very bad.
I'm sitting there thinking what to say, and all I could say is, I cannot talk. And I would say things very slowly and very intentionally, and it was difficult.
When we arrived, they called a code stroke, and that's when we saw the magic of an academic medical center at work. Immediately asking all these questions, very clearly explaining to us, we do not know if you're having a stroke or not. The next step is a CT to confirm if you are having a stroke, and we're gonna go from there. My mom and I are in there, and my mom said, what's her name? And I was standing at the end of the bed, and he looked at me and he was like, and just started bawling, and then I started bawling, and I stepped out and really bawled, because I thought, okay, I'm not getting the same person that I had this morning anymore. Dr. Tomas Martinez was the neuro physician on call for us, and he came back from the CT and said, there's no sign of a stroke. And they did a lot of testing, but it was time is of the essence, because if there was a clot and he was having a stroke, they didn't have a lot of time. And it was really amazing to watch him. At one point, there was 3 different nurses doing things on Aaron, and I remember watching him, and he was only looking and talking at Aaron.
So he administered the TPA, and within 15 minutes, back to normal. Nothing, nothing was wrong. No drooping, no loss of any sensation, no nothing. So then we went up, they gave us a room, and we were there for about 22 hours total.
They told us, we cannot, your paperwork is not going to say that you had a stroke, because we can't confirm that you had a stroke, but you had stroke-like symptoms. And these are the things that we'd advise. And Aaron is an avid biker and doesn't eat salt on anything, and just really, we felt very lost a little with that, because we thought, he's healthy, he doesn't meet any of the stroke measures, and he didn't have a stroke, but he had symptoms of a stroke. We
talked to some other neurologists afterwards. One of them has dealt with strokes all of his career, and he's like, you had a complicated migraine. It constricts all the same blood flow as a stroke does, but it's not permanent. So the TPA might not have actually have done anything, but at the time, that's what needed to be done.
We really feel like Dr. Tomas Martinez saved his life and was so instrumental in the timing of care. He had to make that game time decision on, do we administer the TPA? Do we treat, is he having a stroke or is he not? And these are all they can have serious implications no matter what he chose. And he acted beautifully. He is a great physician, and he will do great things in the world. And we'll never forget him and what he did in that moment for us. We got a miracle from God directly with this hospital and these people. Not every hospital that you go to in an emergency is continuously training and continuously doing research and continuously partnering with a medical school to where they know the updated protocols. The TPA protocol, I don't think, is even a decade old.
And when all this started happening, it brings up the questions of why and all that.
Shocking.
And then we get to UMC, and they can help explain why it happened and how it happened, and for lack of a better term, fix you.